So hi again everybody, now I'm going to present to you a second study that I conducted last year again. This time we're moving to a more or a deeper field of computational linguistics since we're dealing with annotation, corpus, and empirical results. So the study and the title of it was the linguistic and cognitive analysis of tweets. So we have to deal with a Twitter, with this social media platform, and trying to analyze the characteristics and structures of these tweets within the Twitter platform. So, as I said, the aim and let's say the point of this study was that of studying the analysis between the relationship of tweet and the user. So, how did Twitter users um, post a certain tweet in relation with a certain topic that they wanted to send the message to. So the aims of the study were two. First of all, I wanted to verify whether the tweets that were in disagreement with the topic were usually supported by evidence. And the second thing were whether the users that did express that disagreement will verbally attack the topic or not. So as I said, the tweets are, since we're talking about computational linguistics, definitely you'll have an empirical result, an empirical interpretation, but also a crucial thing is the linguistic interpretation, that we're gonna deal with both of them. The topics that I selected were atheism, climate changing is a real concern, feminist movement, Hillary Clinton running for president, legalization of abortion, and Donald Trump is running for president. So these were the whole topics that I selected, and I created a corpus with 120 tweets separated equally for each of one, just to maintain the balance of the opinions and tweets that I selected for each topic, for each theme, let's say. So the corpus, definitely dealing with empirical results, you have to annotate it. So the annotation scheme that I selected will be composed from three tags: topicality, evidence, and focus on. And for topicality, I selected two labels: agree and disagree, whether the user is in agreement or disagreement with the topic. And evidence, whether the user of the tweet platform did maintain or did present a certain evidence or not, so present, absent. And focus on, whether the focus of the tweet was on the topic, so an atheism, on attacking it or on claiming it, or rather was it for the anti-topic, for the opposite, for the other symbol of the topic, or unspecified, whether it couldn't be understood whether it was for the topic or for the anti-topic. So as you can see, I can read you an example just to have you to know a certain annotation scheme, how it worked for me. Let's take, for instance, the example number 8, okay, atheism. Now that SCOC has ruined Canadians have freedom from religion. Can someone tell Harper to dummy his God bless Canada? So the Twitter is in agreement with the topics. So atheism, presenting an evidence, is his citing others' speech, others' utterance, and the focus is in the anti-topic rather than on the topic. Now, empirical results, vertical analysis. This is really interesting because here we're going to deal with the differences of a certain tag and the different labels that I use. So the gap that we can see between different topics is affected by their social cultural impact. As you can see, the legalization of abortion versus climate change is a real concern. You do have differences between both of them. On climate change is a real concern, you have 14 tweets in agreement, while as for real climate change is a real concern. Yeah, legalization of abortion, you have only four tweets in agreement. But if we compare, Hillary Clinton is running for president and Donald Trump is running for president, you see that results are almost the same. The gap is not that significant. So this was a bit problematic for my results because it was not a significant data about what I wanted to know. Evidence is the other tag that I talked. By annotating, it was quite interesting the fact that citations were the most frequent, let's say, evidence provided by the users, and that was not really expected for me. I thought that maybe it would be like providing another external source and pasting it in the tweet, but it actually turned out to be citations like 21 tweets include them, and then you have a distribution of evidence. Focus on was equally distributed for each topic. So as you can see, the graphics that I presented here do have a certain distribution that wasn't really necessary or really significant for what I wanted to know or what I wanted to study. As you can see, for instance, Hillary Clinton is running for president and feminist movement. You do have the reference of the focus on the topic in both of the cases, almost in the same size, in the same amount of tweets, 12 and 13. So it is not significant. Now we get to horizontal analysis. This is crucial because we can see the relation between the tags rather than the labels of a certain tag. So we can have to deal with topicality evidence relationship. Here I could actually manage to confirm the hypothesis. So tweets expressing a disagreement tend to add evidence. And as you can see, in all the tweets that express disagreement and presented an evidence, well, like almost 50%, 48% of the tweets. And this was really significant because I could finally confirm my hypothesis. So the idea is that Twitter, and especially the users that post a certain tweet, especially in political debates, have a tendency to support their opinions with a certain evidence and being then citation, as I said. But not only, we do have a lot of kind of evidences that could be pasted there. And I thought, just looking at the essential content of a tweet, that confirmation bias is the reason why. Because being in disagreement, you need to be confirmed by the others, and supporting it by evidence is the best thing that could help it, like could make your opinion valid and more credible, if we can say it. The other relationship that was really interesting, that I thought that it would be like revealing different things that I didn't know, was the relation between topicality and focus on. Here, I thought that users would verbally attack the topic rather than exalt the anti-topic, but turned out to be the other side of the story, because users tend to exalt the anti-topic rather than attacking the topic, with 51.4% of tweets being in disagreement as the topicality, but the focus was on the anti-topic, on the other one. Like if we're talking about Hillary Clinton, I found a tweet that was disagreeing with Hillary but tagging Donald Trump. So Donald Trump was considered as the anti-topic of Hillary Clinton. So that was quite frequent and quite significant for my results. And it was really, really interesting to find that certain statistics. You have the relationship and the distribution of topicality and focus on. As you can see, in the case of disagreement, you have 26 tweets colored in yellow, that in orange, that do express the focus in the anti-topic, while for the agreement is not the same. So this was quite significant. Linguistic interpretation and something else. For the other relationships like focus on and evidence, the results were quite balanced, quite equally distributed, and I couldn't manage to find a certain hypothesis or to verify certain things, so I didn't take it into account. Linguistic interpretation. In the pragmatics point of view, I just found that elocutionary acts by serial speech acts were quite frequent, especially directive act with 28 tweets. For instance, you need feminism more than you need anything else in your life. You couldn't survive or speak without it. And in talking about grace maxims, the quantity or the mode maxim were violated in 18 tweets. That was quite interesting. Stupid is as stupid does showed his true colors. Seems that he ignores that US was invaded, plundered, not discovered. So serial speech acts and grace maxims were the two crucial points that I discussed for pragmatics. Lexicology, quite a colloquial language. A syntactic pattern that I developed was verb plus personal possessive pronoun plus noun, like hold your peace, clear your thoughts, etc. was 14 tweets including that kind of pattern. orthography with 14 tweets starting with a minuscule letter. For instance, real Donald Trump should have kept his mouth shut and not run for press. He's making the biggest fool out of himself. He's fired. So these were indicators of the spontaneity of social media's language. And conclusions. I'd say that the first hypothesis was confirmed, so users that express a disagreement according to a certain topic tend to present an evidence. The second one was not confirmed. Was quite interesting to find the fact that expressing a disagreement, users tend to excel the anti-topic, to focus on the anti-topics, rather than verbally attacking the topics, rather than focusing on the topic. So the final thing that I could say is that this study can be equally or simply be used to analyze further shades of social media's language, such as spatial, temporal aspects, or sociolinguistic effects. So that was all for this study. I'd like to thank you again for the attention and see you in the coming conferences.